Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Science and Technology. Well, I just made an executive decision. I just recorded a video about the creation of vaccines, in this instance for uh, COVID 19 and timelines for how long vaccines typically take versus what they want to do now. And that I read the article. I read an article from the New York Times, which that video is about 30 minutes, which was longer than I wanted to go. But I wanted to read over uh, the regulatory aspects because there's a whole regulatory piece to this thing, which is described toward the end of that article. So, wow. So I'm gonna read the FDA's guidelines, and I'm gonna excuse me. I'm gonna read the FDA's guidelines. This is short, and then I'm going to upload the other video. I'm gonna stagger them. The other one is longer. It's about 30 minutes if you want to listen to me read that article. It's very, very insightful information. But this is all, a lead up to my live stream later on tonight. Wow, so that's going to be 3 videos going to this channel today. I hope there's no YouTube rule that says you can't put 3 videos up in a day. But I think I've seen other content creators do that. Oh, by the way, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. So this is from the FDA's website, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. So this gets us in the realm of regulatory science, and there's a post from my blogging platform, the Big Words blog site, which just talks about what regulatory science is, because even though we use products every day, whether it's drugs or food and beverages or medical devices, cell phones, household cleaners. Uh, Much of the general population doesn't understand what regulatory affairs are and how these products are approved. So there's a whole vaccination product approval process. So this is going to be short, and it reads as follows. FDA's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, CBER, is responsible for regulating vaccines in the United States. Current authority for the regulation of vaccines resides primarily in Section 351 of the Public Health Service Act and specific sections of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. Vaccine clinical development follows the same general pathway as for drugs and other biologics. A sponsor who wishes to begin clinical trials with a vaccine must submit an investigational new drug application, or an IND, to the FDA. The IND describes the vaccine, its method of manufacture, and quality control tests for release. Also included are information about the vaccine's safety and ability to elicit a protective immune response, or immunogenicity, in animal testing, as well as the proposed clinical protocol for studies in humans. Pre-marketing or pre-licensure vaccine clinical trials are typically done in 3 phases, as is the case for any drug or biologic. So, in one of my earlier videos about pharmacology and toxicology, I differentiated between small molecules and large molecules. And small molecules have a certain molecular weight, and they're usually ingested orally, and they pass easily into the gastrointestinal tract. A biologic is it's usually a protein or a peptide or an antibody, which is too large to be absorbed in the gastrointestinal tract. And if you were to ingest it orally, proteases would likely cleave it before it got to its site of action. So biologics are typically injected right into the bloodstream. And these are much larger molecules than your standard pharmaceuticals. Initial human studies, referred to as phase 1, are safety and immunogenicity studies performed in a small number of closely monitored subjects. Phase 2 studies are dose ranging studies and may enroll hundreds of subjects. Finally, phase 3 trials typically enroll thousands of individuals and provide the critical documentation of effectiveness and important additional safety data required for licensing. At any stage of the clinical or animal studies, if data raise significant concerns about either safety or effectiveness, FDA may request additional information or studies or may halt ongoing clinical studies. If successful, the completion of all 3 phases of clinical development can be followed by the submission of a biologics license application. To be considered, the license application must provide the multidisciplinary FDA reviewer team this team includes medical officers, microbiologists, chemists, biostatisticians, etc. To be considered, the license application must provide the multidisciplinary FDA reviewer team with the efficacy and safety information necessary to make a risk-benefit assessment and to recommend or oppose the approval of a vaccine. Also, during this stage, the proposed manufacturing facility undergoes a pre-approval inspection during which production of the vaccine, as it is in progress, is examined. Following FDA's review of a license application for a new indication, the sponsor and the FDA may present their findings to FDA's Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee. This non-FDA expert committee, scientists, physicians, biostatisticians, and a consumer representative, provides advice to the agency regarding the safety and efficacy of the vaccine for the proposed indication. Vaccine approval also requires the provision of adequate product labeling to allow healthcare providers to understand the vaccine's proper use, including its potential benefits and risks, to communicate with patients and parents, and to safely deliver the vaccine to the public. The FDA continues to oversee the production of vaccines after the vaccine and the manufacturing processes are approved in order to ensure continuing safety. After licensure, so many words in this. After licensure, monitoring of the product and of production activities, including periodic facility inspections, must continue as long as the manufacturer holds a license for the product. If requested by the FDA, manufacturers are required to submit to the FDA the results of their own tests for potency, safety, and purity for each vaccine lot. They may also be required to submit samples of each vaccine lot to the FDA for testing. However, if the sponsor describes an alternative procedure which provides continued assurance of safety, purity, and potency, CBER may determine that routine submission of lot release protocols showing results of applicable tests and samples is not necessary. Finally, until a vaccine is given to the general population, all potential adverse events cannot be anticipated. Thus, many vaccines undergo phase 4 studies, phase 4 formal studies on a vaccine once it is on the market. Also, the government relies on the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, the VAERS, to identify problems after marketing begins. The VAERS system and how it works is discussed further on this website. All right, so that's, I think, the net of it is, once the research is done, there's a whole process after that. So once they find a hit that they think is worth taking further, there are clinical trials, and there are whole approval processes by our federal government that must take place even before your doctor and your nurse can inject you with a vaccine, in this case for COVID-19. So I'm going to leave this link and another link, I think, from the CDC in the description box below. Please let me know what you think in the comments section below. Again, I'm supposed to go live later on with Nicole. As always, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.